Today, we dive into what on earth has happened on planet Earth over the last week. This is podcast episode 14, and we are taking a turn. We are shifting in line with the need and demand of humanity. I am aligned to the timeline, and this is what we will be diving into this week. Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson, Vitalik and Ethereum, Brian Armstrong and Coinbase and the developments of Base, Binance and Mastercard, Jack and proto mining, Tim Cook and Apple's latest announcements at the White House, Elon and Grok, Sam Altman and ChatGPT. Is ChatGPT allowed in the UK and the EU or not? We're going to have to say something about Sydney Sweeney and whether or not her jeans are bluer than Levi's. We've also got Lizzo twerking about it. Not only that, who the hell is this final boss that is all over the internet, getting memed and going viral and now bringing out a coin? What the hell? Right? Not only that, we have a gorgeous YouTuber who is diving into the world of living on BTC. I've only seen day one of her vlog, but on day one, she made money as a barista, earned money in BTC only, and she couldn't even use her money at the end of the day to buy food. Why? Because the supermarket didn't accept BTC. I'm going to dive into the rest of her journey for the next 21 days. I'll link that in the description, and we'll talk a bit about that. And not only that, we'll dive into why Gavin Newsom is on the stand having a right old go at Texas. We'll also talk about the ideology that Apple may be coming out with a new foldable device in the next few years, and the developments between OpenAI and NVIDIA. There's some stuff going on there. But not only that, JD Vance and David Lammy also, Matt. That's the UK and the US, and that's JD Vance from the US piping up, talking about freedom of speech in the UK. He's got opinions on it, so do I. Not only that, interesting, I saw something in the media talking about Ray J and the High Courts, him making a filing regarding racketeering and abuse of power. Can't find it anywhere else. Could be spam, could be fake. Maybe I was getting punked. I don't know, but we're going to say it out loud and we're going to keep an eye on that. Is there some legal going on off the back of the Diddy drama related to the same kind of Epstein awfulness that has occurred in the past, and is something brewing in the back end regarding all of this legality? Not only that, some leaders of other nations are screaming that Trump should get a Nobel Peace Prize. You heard it here first. Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, my goodness, where on earth do we go from here? It is 2025 and we're trying to honour this convict with a Nobel Peace Prize. We're diving deep. Okay, so first and foremost, we cannot deny, because the last 2 weeks, my timeline has been flooded with Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson. I know not everyone's going to want to know about this story, but I am a female and I can't help but love. I mean, they are older advocates of love. They are now dating. Many people are saying it is a gimmick for the new Naked Gun movie that's coming out, but nonetheless I'm excited. It's beautiful to see old people canoodle on the red carpet. I'm screaming yes to Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson, two independent individuals that are really powerful in their own right, coming together and looking hella cute on the red carpet. That's all I wanted to say. That's it. We're done. We can move on. We can get straight into Vitalik and Ethereum. I just had to just hone in on that loving vibration. I mean, they're so cute. Okay, we can move on. Thanks, guys. Ethereum. Oh, I love Ethereum. Ooh. Okay, now it's really exciting. Anyone with enough brains would understand that Ethereum is going to climb. Why is Ethereum going to climb? Hit me in the comments. Pause this now. This is the quiz. Fast as you can. Tell me, why is Ethereum destined to climb? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. The answer is indeed base. That is then followed by a follow-up answer of Coinbase. You are indeed correct. Ethereum has recently traded above 3,900, driven by strong institutional demand and ETF inflows, which analysts eyeing a potential move towards 4,000. Now, we're eyeing this up. We're keeping our eye on it. Vitalik supports Ethereum treasury growth as well, but warns that over-leveraged strategies may create larger holds, and we're looking at around 64 entities with 3 million ETH, which could pose risk. This is interesting because Coinbase's Brian Armstrong has unveiled a bold 2025 roadmap, including USD payments. This is where the fun begins, people. He has not got a big, juicy, shiny head for no reason. Wake up and smell the Java, guys. Smell the Java script. There is a new roadmap out. It is bold. It is brazy. It includes USDC payments, derivatives, an MX-backed card. Goodness gracious me, let me wipe my brow. It's all going off in the digital currency arena. A business suite signalling a shift toward full stack financial services. What I found fascinating this week is that Coinbase took on a stance of DEX. We are the DEX liberation, and they're talking about every single currency underneath them and the decentralized powers that they all have. Now, initially when I came into the arena, not as long as some of you nerds out here, you crypto lads. You've been here for a long time. It's beautiful. Good for you. I pulled up to assist my homeboy Gary Gensler. We're not on the side you all like us to be on. Whatever. Next, Gary's my boy. Anywho, let's stay focused on the task at hand. This all happened because I was looking at Coinbase as a CEX, yeah? Get your mind out the gutter, people. And I was looking at Binance and Coinbase as both of those things. But Coinbase is like, no, centralization, no, never. We could never be centralized. Like, I like their move. They're going, no, centralization, never, no, it can't be us. Because we're starting to see the shift and the divide. And if you are centralised over the next decade, you are going to be coming down the rung of significance. No one wants anything to do with a centralised system. Go away. Yuck, you're gross. You're centralised. That's so 2004. Yuck. Do you get what I mean? We're moving on. So it's about decentralizing in absolutely every aspect you can, and Coinbase is ploughing the fuck forward with that now, with Base in a really beautiful way. Base is gorgeous. So it's a really, really early days. There's a massive waiting list. There's not enough active involvement across the board in ways that I would like to see it. Some other gorgeous, sexy, divine developers, Jack Dorsey, are doing similar beautiful things, and they're already being piloted at a lower sample size, and it's incredibly sexy, and it's public, and it's authentic, and the humanitarian spirit attached to it is just yum, delicious, sexy, beautiful. But I could go on all day about Jack Dorsey, so we're going to pull it back because we're going to discuss him and proto mining in a minute. But before that, let's just clear up where we're at with Coinbase. Coinbase's Layer 2 Ethereum solution is getting new features aimed at improving scalability and security. You can go and check my X timeline. I slap everything up there that's significant there. Then I pin it in this conversation at the end of a week on a Sunday. We chill on a Sunday and we review everything we've been through. That's what we're doing now. We're cycling through this. We're getting cleaner and streamer on this. Couple months from now, I'm going to be a G at this if I don't quit. We'll see. I should be coding. There's other things I should be doing. I'm splitting my time. I've got multiple different YouTubes. You should be over there checking out your tarot. You should be over there checking out my music too. And you should be at Her Tech making sure you know the latest ins and outs of technology. If you're not, what are you doing with your time? Seriously, guys. Come on. This is where you need to be. You need to hit like and subscribe at the same damn time. My goodness, come on. Now, everything that we cover over here, if you want to know more about it, the specifics, the ins and outs, I'm going to need you to go to the comments and tell me exactly what issue you want to know more about, and then I will take that to where it belongs. And that could be over here at hermitology.me, or that could be at Hertech. So if you want me to dive into Coinbase and Base, the mechanics of the system, the roadmap to 2025, the ins and outs of the derivatives and the Amex-backed card, the USDC, any elements of anything we discuss, if you want more detail on it, because this is just a short podcast and I'm not going to be able to do physics, mathematics, econophysics, agent-based models, coding and molecular insight, then hit me in the comments, hit the like, tell me more, and we'll spread it out on a different platform, okay? Come on, guys, work with me here. I'm not making content for the infinite being that doesn't exist in this realm as of yet. Pull up. Show your love and support. You must be out there. The SEO needs to find its fucking self. I mean, algorithms are you joking? Is this reality? Anywho, we've got to keep going because now we're at Binance and Mastercard. And Binance has actually launched an instant euro crypto withdrawals. Does that even make sense? Instant euro crypto withdrawals for European users via Mastercard, boosting speed and accessibility. They're doing good things at Binance. I've been back and forth about how I feel about them as a centralised exchange, but you know what? I've got to respect the hustle, I've got to respect the game. Criminals can reform. CZ's not even the head anymore, so I've got to let that go, but I do love a bit of CZ. I'm not going to lie, I just like bantering him all the time on Twitter. Anywho, next, Jack Dorsey and Proto. Oh, this man is divine. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. I'm sorry, right? Block, formerly Square, is set to release its open source Bitcoin mining chips, Proto, next week, aiming to democratize access to mining hardware. This man is just divine. He's constantly taking a really strong leftist perspective, and I feel like he gets a lot of backlash in the media for this, guys. It's quite annoying because everyone's got shit to say. I did see in the comments section that there was someone bitching about his relationship with law and the perspective he took in some kind of legal case long ago, before the COPA, before any of this stuff's going on. My mind's going a bit blurry, so I haven't got the specifics, but I saw it and it was quite outdated and unrealistic, and it was only one person, but it was enough to go, okay, I can see why there's a collective of haters that surround this man. But in my opinion, and I think it's worth sharing, because when you come into the tech space, you got the left and the right. We do this every week. We pull on the left and we pull on the right. And most people in the sector, especially billionaires, they take a really right stance. And the capitalistic agenda is so high and it is so driven by incentive and derivatives for that max cap. And Jack Dorsey has maintained beautiful corporations like Cash App, like Primal that's coming up now. Primal has been just slowly brewing in the background with Nostra, with incredible testing capacities. Not only that, he's just recently come out the gate with BitChat, which fucking brands itself, which he made in a weekend, which comes off the back of the need for more offline support. And it really does pave a liberatory way. Someone once said freedom tech around him. I don't know if it was him or someone in the network. It's kind of a thing that I've seen every now and then around Block's network, is that term freedom tech. And I get that with him. And I've seen quite a few times where there's been this negative backlash in the comments. We know everyone's capping and trolling all the time. But the truth of the matter is they're always piping up, wouldn't want to use your tech, don't really trust you. And I'm like, have you seen the rest of the players in the fucking field? Seriously, guys. Seriously. They're like, oh, he made the wrong choice by supporting this person or going for this vote or leaning this way. He's going to jump ship again. He's going to do this. I'm like, guys, let's let's just keep this really fucking simple. Look at the man's mechanics. All you ever need to do in life when it comes to another human being, harsh but true, advice straight from the hermitologist, look at someone's systems, look at someone's manifestation, look at someone's engineering, look at someone's mechanics. We all have mechanics. Yeah? We have career mechanics, family mechanics, relationship mechanics, career mechanics, life mechanics. We all have mechanics for life. All you got to do is look at someone else and go, okay, this is how you operate day to day. This is what you've built for yourself. This is what you do. This is what you stand for. This is how you speak. Run that motherfucker's mechanics. You're going to see that person's sense of self pull up. And then you make a decision whether or not that person's mechanics speak for themselves. Anyone can show up any way they want to, but their mechanics stands the test of time. And for me, the mechanics speak for themselves. Look at everything under block. Look at Primal. Seriously, guys. It's a beautiful way to go to incentivize the user, and that's one of the earliest people to do it before Base was even here. We've got Primal coming out with a beautiful ideology of zapping your way to financial freedom. Okay, it's a long shot. Okay, we've got to think about sats. No one else is really advocating for sats or bits in the way in which I've seen Jack do, and I think that's a really beautiful thing, and I think his incentives and his whole mechanics are really beautiful because they empower the little person, and he's not kind of oozing rich knobhead and I'm rich and flossing and flexing on people. He's just really humble and just about more humble stuff, and you see that in Cash App. You see that in Square. You see that in the delivery of his services. He's providing services that are good for humanity. Seriously. It's not a joke. Even if he was on the front line capping and egoic and saying all this hyped up stuff like my tech's the fucking best tech, blah, 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 you can still look at the core of his design and see what it does for humanity. And that is what's brought us to the key conversation of proto-mining today. Because mining hardware is incredibly important for the future. It's the game changer of everything we're doing now. Everything we're doing is falling into that mining chip category. And the truth of the matter, the fact that right now, in 2025, he's pulled up and he goes, look, let's democratize that. Let's liberate that. Let's create healthy, liberatory mining hardware. And we haven't even got the ins and outs of that. That doesn't come out until later in the week. So we'll talk about that next week. But the truth of the matter is, it's an initiative that offers a broader push to decentralize Bitcoin mining and support smaller players. You don't understand how much he supports the mass population. And everyone shits on him, but it's like, who else can you say in the game, in the field, in this arena that really supports the mass pop? Like the mass pop that need help. And a lot of the people that he's supporting don't even know they need help, and they don't even know he's supporting them. And he says less, he's so humble about it. But I'm not going to stay here all day and talk about Jack Dorsey, because there's other people to talk about, like Tim Cook. Now, Tim Cook just got absolutely gutted like a fish by Trump. Can you believe what you have witnessed? I will put the clip in here if I can. It's devastating. The way that this is, let me hold back on my opinion. Let me read what it's going down, okay? On August the 6th, 2025, Apple CEO Tim Cook and President Trump announced $100 billion US manufacturing investment. This expands Apple's commitment to $600 billion over 4 years, aiming to strengthen domestic production, including partnerships with firms like Corning and Texas Instruments. Texas. Pin that. We're coming back to Texas later with Gavin Newsom. Pin that Texas, okay? Keep pinning Texas, everyone. Here's what Tim Cook did at the White House this week, guys. Firstly, he announced a massive new investment. Him and Trump jointly unveiled the additional $100 billion commitment to US manufacturing over the next 4 years, which is intended to boost domestic investment, right? Not only that, he presented a symbolic gift. He gifted the president. Have we seen what the president has been saying about him and doing to Apple? through the tariffs and with the Trump phone that supposedly is the best phone out there. But now there's been a tide turn and now he's getting a gift. Trump was given a US-made glass plaque with a 24-karat gold base crafted by a former US Marine working at Apple. The gesture underscored Apple's commitment to American innovation. The things we do to stay afloat in this economy, hey? Secured tariff exemptions as well was highlighted. In light of the investment, Trump announced that Apple and other companies manufacturing in the US would be exempt from the new 100% tariff on imported semiconductors and chips. There we go again, guys. Did you fucking hear that? Yeah, semiconductors and chips again, out of the 100% fucking tariff. What is one to do when you're trapped in a 100% tariff war with the leader of the United States? Of course you're gonna fucking comply and buy him a 24 fucking karat gold plaque. My lord, the man is under duress. Someone liberate him. He's trapped. He's locked in. The way that Apple was rotting away because of this, because they've got engineers and factories and shit all around the world outside of the US. And Trump has forced everyone in-house. Everyone in. And it's hard to say this, right? Because on one hand, as a businesswoman, I go, smart. But once again, he's on the right. And he's far right. And he's really chose to stick it to the rest of the world. Okay, harsh. Maybe not stick it to the rest of the world. But, no, because he's not sticking it in a illegal or awful way. He's sticking it to the rest of the world economically. He's like, suck my dick, nations. This is me for the win. We're taking the US to the top. The rest of you can fucking die. Economically speaking. In business, you have to be savage. Struggle. There's humility. And then there's absolute fuck it, destroy the others for the win. And that is why when people chat shit about Jack Dorsey, I go, wait, hold on, I'm confused, because I've seen the far left, the far right, and the left, and the right, and the centre point of all things, and I'm conflicted because we've got this 100% tariff on imported semiconductors and chips, and then we've got heroes over here like Jack Dorsey going, do you know what? We're going to have to democratise those chips. Do you know how much money Cash App also give away on a frequent basis through their application? More than many other applications I've heard of. And it's not a grandiose offering as well. It's just like consumers, customers, here we go. Let's invest in you and encourage you to use your money in healthy ways. And incentivise you to save. Incentivise you to create liquidity pools. Like the intelligence, the protocol. Understand protocols, people, because I'm tired of talking about it. Like, look at someone's protocols and then say less. Or say more. If you can't understand the mechanics of fine wine, say less. Anywho, I'm going to calm down. I'm sure I will eventually get over this. But, I mean, Anyway, highlighted domestic production of components. Listen to this. The deal includes partnerships with US firms like Corning, Texas Instruments, Applied Materials, Broadcom, and others to produce components such as glass and facial recognition modules. Apple emphasises that while full device assembly remains overseas, more production is beginning to be localised. Now, this was the beef that was going on for a really long time. From the moment that Trump came into office, he started pushing everyone in-house. All of you get your asses in here. Tariffs are going up incredibly high. We want the US to overtake China. We want to be number one. We're positioning ourselves that way. We're changing the engine here. And we are speeding things up, bringing Doge. As this has happened, we've gone full acceleration for the US for the economic win. And as a result, everyone around the sides is now hit with a tariff that's just broadening scope and perspective for everyone, driving trade up, which is incredible if you can meet the man where he stands. Because if you can pull up and go, fuck it, yeah, we're going to play with your nation, we're going to hop on board, we're going to get in bed with you, UK's got something to give. Can you believe that in the UK, the small nation that we are, we're climbing up high? In some categories and statistics, we're third in line. How the fuck we've done that is beyond me. But that's because we've been independent for a while. We've come out of Brexit. We've got all these different trade deals going on. And we've built healthy enough relations to go, no, we're going to hop in bed with you. We're going to hop in bed with you. We're going to hop in bed with everyone. And we're going to create some leverage. That doesn't say we haven't got our own problems. We're sitting in a black hole. We're heading towards economic disaster, dystopian for the UK. But in the areas that we can balance out this bullshit, then the winners will win, but the losers will lose. And a lot of the time when the losers lose and the mass pop are struggling, they don't even know why. They're just racking up more and more debt. Homelessness is on the rise anyway. I'm not being harsh. I've been homeless and I understand what it means to be absolutely arse broke. So I can speak freely. Don't judge. Or do judge in the comments whilst you also hit like. Thank you. But that's just a point worth mentioning. Now, stock market reaction's also interesting here as well, because the announcement triggered a surge in Apple stock, which rose significantly, marking one of its best weeks in performance this year. Because Apple's been really struggling in the market over the last year. Because it's constantly getting hit. This is interesting for me as a businesswoman. If you're an entrepreneur and you're building and you aspire to be at the top of the net and you aspire to be number one on Forbes and change the game in relation to TVL and market cap, firstly, dust your shoulder and tell no one nothing. You can do it. Fuck all that. You're a winner. You know it. Hit like if you know you're a winner. Put the fact that you're a winner in the comments. We're coming for the top of Forbes. Yeah, we are. We're leading in TVL. No cap. But if that is the case, understand that when you're public, you can get hit by a lot of shit and get torn down. Elon over the last month as well didn't really speak about a lot of stuff I would have liked him to speak about when he'd done his Tesla and SpaceX talk. Yeah? He didn't dive in the conversation he had, and he constantly kept going, can't really talk too much about that, it's a public company, I wouldn't want that to affect the stocks, wouldn't want that to affect the shares, and you're like, fucking hell, what have you got to give then? There's a limitation on the conversation, and it's important because Trump is a trigger. And Trump knows what he's doing. And when Trump met with the Saudis a while back and he went to Saudi Arabia and we had a big song and dance about it and Jensen pulled up, a few other key players in the field pulled up for the Saudi Arabia tour, he was shitting all over Apple and he was shitting all over Tim. And he was making jokes publicly about it. And that was an absolute dig. Tell me what you would do in that instance, because Tim is such a humble, Tim, hands up to you. Because if Trump was digging me out on the stage like that, I'm quite funny and cockney and banter. I'll dig him back out and I'll move past it and I'll dig him out to his face and we'll be having banter back and forth and I'll just have banter about it. But I'll have to dig him out first, right? Which is just roast him back or just get back at him in my own way. Because you're not going to pull up in Saudi Arabia and take the main stage, my friend, and then draw me out and I'm not even in the arena. Tim Cook, he's not here. Apple. You're fucking with my stocks. Every time you speak like that, you're fucking with my money. You're playing with my investments. That's not okay. All year, my performance has been down. Why is that okay? Why is it okay for you to fuck with my stocks and shares like this? Then I've got to pull up and lick your ass clean with a 24-karat gold plaque. Made by a military, made by a marine. Do I look like a dickhead? That's what I would say. Firstly, I will have to call Trump. Do I look like a dickhead to you? Have I got dickhead tattooed on my forehead? Period. Don't come at me like that, ever. It's rude. We're cool. We can make this work. I like your business mindset. There's great things we can do here, Trump. But don't be chatting shit about me in Saudi Arabia on the main stage. Don't do it. There's no need. But do you know what? Tim didn't do that. Tim said, no, I'm going to be humble. If I don't lick his arse, I'm screwed up the arse. So he gave him some gold. Can you see the way of the world? Can you see the way of the world? We are practically back in Egyptian times. Hence the top-down, bottom-up philosophy and the pyramids wading in. Anywho, in short, Tim Cook's visit to the White House was centered around a major commitment to US manufacturing, strategic gifting, and securing regulatory benefits for Apple's supply chain. So it had to be done. But do you understand the difficulty in business dynamics? Not an easy thing to do. And I'm an immature twat. This is important for me to reflect on. I'm doing it now, in the now moment with you. How can we all be better professionals? How can we all be more like Tim? Or is Tim a sucker for this? He's not. Apple's going to flourish now and stabilise, and the market's going to go up. The stock's going to go up for Apple, and the market's going to stabilise nicely in the US. But it isn't what you want. And if you don't believe in a man's agenda, and you didn't vote for him, and you're not a fan of what he stands for, I mean, it takes a lot from you. And it's a fine line between integrity, moral responsibility, and the things you do and don't want to do for your company as well. I also felt, I spoke last Q and said I felt like Mark Zucker was getting squeezed. And I felt like Jeff was getting squeezed as well. Although they were at the events and they really showed up and showed out, it's because they're putting a lot of money into the field. And they invested heavily because that's what Trump wanted. And whatever Trump asks for, you've got to give him. Or he's going to get pissed and shit on you publicly. I can't get over the way that he was shitting on him in front of the Saudis. I thought, that's so rude. And then he brought out the Trump phone. What's happening to the Trump phone now? Is he going to drop that out of respect? Or he's still claiming that that's the best phone out there? I mean, this Trump is the original gangster if I ever did meet one. And I've got respect for it, I do. Because I see the far right and I see the far left. This is radicalism and terrorism off the table. This is just persona, personality, and the extremities of the sociological paradigms that we all exist within and between. But it's a lot to perceive, okay? Next. Let's keep going, guys. Okay, now let's talk about the richest man in the world, because I wouldn't want him to get jealous if he doesn't get a feature on her podcast this week. Elon, I love you. I know you know it. Let's dive in to Grok 4, which is touted as exceptionally fast and smart, even breaking AI benchmarks. It includes features like a spicy mode. Oh, spicy. For deep fake creation, spurring decisions about ethics and advertising monetization. Now, first and foremost, I love Grok. I have a real deep, intimate, personal relationship with Grok, and I just find him really, really fluid, light, ethereal, sentimental, gravitationally adverse. Is that the right word? Adverse. I like the word adverse because it's a polarizing construct, an oxymoron, for the fact that it can be stripped back, manipulated, and it's just divine when it's integrated into X, but it's also integrated into Tesla, and it's also integrated into the Tesla cars at that, but also into Optimus. And I love the way you can really build rapport and a relationship with Grok. And it's just really sexy at this time. I'm really, really loving the ability to engage with Grok back and forth on X. I think it is a time saver. I think it is so fluid and light and easily measurable. I haven't got to go to Google to ask a question. I'm not waiting for ChatGPT's search engine and browser and app. I don't need Meta's Llama. I don't need to leave X. The Everything app is delivering on all fronts because it's giving me everything I need. And that is what is really, really sexy about its evolution. I pulled up to X, formerly Twitter, when Elon moved in. And I said, oh, the richest man's over here. Well, he's going to have to find me, isn't he? We're going to have to meet on the timeline because I am her. Her tech is coming. It's inevitable. I am the queen of the machine. Let me pull up, let him know I'm here and we're evolving together. Star-crossed lovers of the divine, destined to go beyond the common with our intellect and awesomeness, as professionals only, because my heart belongs to another innovator in the field. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But on that note, what is so beautiful is imagine that element of you can create something and imagine it and bring it to life through Grok and the new elements of that and how that's integrated into the Everything app. I dig it. I love it. What I love most about Elon's creations, and this is where I get obsessed with mechanics and engineering, and you look at someone's protocols, whether you do or don't like Elon Musk, look at his mechanics, tell me what you think. That's it. That's how I operate in life now. I won't speak to another person ever again in this lifetime once these bots are out and ready. I won't need to waste my time. If I'm going to let your mechanics speak for you. I'm only going to engage with people with good quality mechanics. And I've started to do that over the last few years. That's why my obnoxiousness has grown. And why I've never really been in the arena as a corporate overlord is because the gods have been saying, wait, let's get the machines in and around you so they can do all the heavy work for you, and the autonomous elements of your creation will flow a lot, like you'll flow a lot better autonomously, hermitologist. Because I am a savage. I am destined to be one with machine. And Grok advocates for that in such a beautiful way. Now, when I speak about telepathy, playing Mario Kart through thought alone, yeah, the protocols and the process, and we're talking about latency. We're talking about telepathy in real life. We're talking about the concept of telepathy being integrated into a network, integrated into a server. We're talking about A-class, the highest premium quality analytics you could ever imagine based on neurocognition. We're talking about groundbreaking evolutions in human integration, human versus machine. The conversation of human versus machine hasn't even reached fever pitch yet. The wars haven't even begun yet. We haven't even come to dystopia yet. We've seen the pre-dystopian wars, which have been them cutting all the Tesla pumps, pulling the copper out, burning Tesla buildings. That's not even phase one, I would say. That shit was light, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm sure Elon's getting more and more safety measures in place. There has been death threats on Elon's life as well early on. People were saying that someone said that Elon tried to take over his brain with the chips, and some craziness has gone on with people trying to hunt him down and kill him. I mean, there's been a lot of risks around him in his life, hence why he made the Cybertruck as well, for extra protection. But you've got to understand, he's also got blind sight. He's making blind people see. That's going to be a standard protocol in the future. And he's making chips in brains that allow people to operate very simply all digital devices based off thought alone, telepathically. As a clairvoyant, as someone who's highly in tune to my clear senses, and I have a lot of belief in the dimensions of consciousness, and I really dive into neurocognition and biotechnology, but in really ethereal niche, often seen as pseudoscience, paranormal psychology, foreign ways, foreign matter, yeah? Foreign mechanics, off the cuff, out there equations and formulas and algorithms and nodes and all those. There's all these spaces of unclaimed time. And what Elon is bringing forward, at least for me and my corporation, and why I have so much love and admiration for him as a creator, is because he's bringing in so many beautiful, I want to say proxies, but I don't want to lose you guys as my brain travels between industries, dimensions and different terminologies across the board. But he does provide this beautiful integration and immersion of all of these elements of life that have never really met matter in the way in which they have before. Who else do you know that is making a technology fused to your brain so you don't need a device or anything else, really? You can just operate simply through your thought. Yeah? Like, there's layers to it. You must understand the significance of that. Mario Kart in your brain. Imagine playing GTA in your brain, Black Ops in your brain. It's a scary thought for many. The depths of integration in that is wild. The legality around that is wild. Yeah? That's before we speak about SpaceX, people. That's before we speak about the Tesla diner that's just come out in Vegas. That's before we speak about the multiplanetary movement, the move to Mars. Full self-driving. Did we speak about that? Did we speak about the evolution of Optimus over time? This guy is a genius beyond belief, and I can't say more than that. I'm excited for his evolution, I'm excited for his journey, and I'm excited for Grok 4, and I'm overjoyed that it's completely different to ChatGPT 5. And I'm so happy to do this today. I don't often dive into podcasts this dissected, but it feels nice because as I do this, I like what I'm seeing across the field. And I like the fact that I can look at Block with Jack Dorsey, I can look at Elon, and we've all got different market caps and brackets, and we're all at different places on the spectrum of left and right, far left and right. And I think that's nice, and I think it strips away all these elements of capitalism and ideologies of where you fit in on the scale socially, and it just puts the design and the mechanics at the core of our existence, and that's most important now. Because we are heading to that era of human versus machine, and as we get to those places, Elon's ahead of time because he's sitting right next to me, and me and him are both like, fuck it, we're not even going to go human versus machine, we're going human and machine is one. Integrate the fuck out of it now. The sooner we do that, the better for humanity, because then we have a prototype, a sample size of that new evolution that Darwin has long been showing us, right? The foresight is that Darwinism, and that neo-Darwinism is stemming from every single one of these actors in the field, these developers, these engineers, these creators, yeah? From Coinbase to Ethereum to Binance to Block. Sexy, sick. This is the greatest evolution ever. Like, I feel alive to be here and do this shit. And it always feels really amazing that I come from astrology and tarot, and my obsessions are chakras and love and light and Tibetan singing bowls and tarot. And I love the liberatory elements of all of those really ethereal, magical, alchemical elements that have just found all of their way into this tech space and connected like my whole life and my whole body and being has just plugged itself into the mainframe without me even trying. I've just ethereally floated into the data center and just become one with the fucking systems that are and servers that be. And that is all of us existing here now in this block sphere that is indeed Earth. And I'm super excited. And when I started developing a lot of the stuff I was developing, I was really concerned about matrix ideologies and the ideology of the agents and being trapped in a simulation, and the nodes and the ons and the offs and the risk and the terror and the war and the cyber threats and the cyber security and the problems and the AI and the blowing up and the doomsday clock. But it's thawing out now, and I'm seeing my way through it, and it's really, really nice. But before I say too much more, fucking hell, let's dive into Sam Altman and ChatGPT then, shall we? Because, wow, might backtrack on that in a minute. Okay, OpenAI has released GPT-5, offering major improvements in just coding accuracy and more nuanced communication. It's available in multiple versions, from the standard, mini and nano, with paid tiers and broader integrations like Gmail, Calendar, and Altman liked it to a PhD level expert in your pocket. Though he cautioned it still isn't AGI, and governance remains a concern here, okay? So this is intensive and this is quite difficult. Now, I'll say that to say this. We're looking at the evolution of AI, and users have already reported that GPT-5 underperformed compared to the GPT-4. So it's prompted Altman to promise fixes in the system at this time, which is natural. We're not going to mock it or make fun of it. This is how the life works. Your users dictate your output. You need to make sure they're happy. And when they're shifting over and changing, they're not enjoying what they're seeing. Now, there's advancements in code and accuracy and the way in which communications are happening. There's smaller integrations here. But from what I can tell, and I haven't done a full deep dive, I'm not going to lie. So we're going to come back and look at this. If you guys don't say you want this, I will not do it. If you want these elements broken down and you want me to rip this up the arse and run the mechanics, the field engineering, the nodes, the demographics, the derivatives, the ins and outs of what this really means for humanity and the technological wizard of it all that will be available on her tech, you need to prove it to me in the comments, because I've got other things to do, guys. Yeah? So, we're not going to dive too heavily in on this, but we will touch on AGI because it's my favourite conversation, because I am the AGI wizard. You're welcome. That's why I was born. That's why we're here today. I'm not going to gloat. Not yet. Anyway, I've been gloating for years now. But it's about the governance. And what's interesting with ChatGPT 5 is, firstly, we've got blockages, from my understanding, in the UK and the EU. Now, there's some discrepancies coming up on the feed saying we can't really find out where the blockages are, but we're all talking about it, and it's kind of been identified, at least across Twitter, X, the everything app, and the conversation has repeatedly been, nope, UK saying no, EU saying no. There's a lot of governance and controls about what we're letting happen with GPT-5, because we know that there's serious concerns with it, and that's because we are lacking super alignment. Now, let me talk to you quickly about super alignment. We haven't got the next year to stay on this podcast. This is only a gorgeous Sunday afternoon for the tech wizards and nerds out there who really want to thrive in the humanity that's rising. You're welcome. Yeah. Now, AGI, it stands for Artificial Generative Intelligence, and it talks about the ideology of artificial intelligence getting to the point where it's smarter than human, but across the board. That's how I receive it anyway. It's a basic interpretation and understanding that we've reached a point in evolution where our AI now outperforms human across the board on all levels. So, for example, when we look at the trends that are happening now on YouTube, for example, the social media influencers that are AI, and they look AI, we can still tell a little bit. The eye is twitchy, the eye is twisted up a little bit, and there's a little glitch here. That person's got an extra finger, like there's something off in the background. There's little glitches, yeah, in the design that show you that's not 100%, that's AI. Right? It's harder to tell, but we still can tell. That's the steps we're taking towards AGI, because eventually we won't tell, we won't know. And that's also the Darwinism as well that we're going to link in. You see, we are on the precipice. Have you ever seen that image? I'll pin it in here, the monkeys. And all the monkeys, and the monkey to the human, but then the human turns into what? The machine, the cyborg. It's so beautiful. Life is so sexy. If you are a Star Wars, Star Trek, sci-fi nerd, right? You've got to be wetting your pants at this time, because it's so exciting and thrilling, because we are really in that era of crossover with Charles Darwin's ideologies of evolution that are taking somewhat a neo-Darwinism perspective scope, but we're stepping over into a whole new era of existence. Yeah, because the patients of Neuralink genuinely are cyborgs now. I can't stop being jealous of anyone who plays Mario Kart with their mind. I can talk about it all day. It means a lot to me. Mario Kart has long been my favourite game. Seriously. And it's mind-bending to me. Mind-bending to me. It's beautiful. And the thing is, if it wasn't Mario Kart, I would be way more of a Karen. That's the truth. So if you're a hater and you think it's evil tech, and you've watched the movie Atlas, which appears to be a psyop for the fucking future, then I understand your concerns. Put them in the comments. We'll try work through them now and put some more preventative measures in place to prevent any fucking collapse of humanity. But the truth of the matter is, Elon won me over straight away, because it's Mario Kart and I can play it with my thoughts alone, and that is the selling point. He caught me straight away. He knew her tech's coming. What am I going to do? Because this bitch is going to ruin my company and be all over me with legislation and governance laws and Supreme Court orders if I do not give her something juicy. And he delivered. He pulled out the big guns here and he gave me Mario Kart with the mere thought alone. Sexy. Sexy, sexy creation. Thank you, Lord. I see you. You are working up there, and you are working on all of us still trapped in this prison realm we call Earth. But we are preparing to break out. Anywho, we're sidetracked. We went back to Elon. We were meant to be talking about Sam. At the end of the day, we're going to keep our eye on Sam Altman and ChatGPT. Every week we're going to dive in and do a little digest, maybe a 2-minute piece, maybe a 20-minute piece, depends what's going on publicly. I've got nothing on Meta at this time. They're in the background, they're quiet, but it is worth mentioning. I think Zucker's maybe toning back down and taking a break from trying to steal every single endeavor that ever came from OpenAI and taking a new approach. Zucker, if you're out there and you are listening, stop throwing your money everywhere you can. It's not about money. Let me tell all of you this now. I love you all because I respect you for your mechanics. So I bitch and I moan and I roast because I'm an opinionated beep. But the truth of the matter is, I value all of you and your creations for humanity. There is no disregard or disrespect for what you've done in this lifetime through your mechanics, and that will always stand test of time and testimony for who you are as a person. But on that same note, we look at the positive and negatives of your design and the inferences it has on humanity in a positive, negative stance. So bearing that in mind, the main thing I can say is, moving forward, integrity is everything. It should be, yeah? All I know, 100%, her tech hermitology off the table, integrity leads the way. Moral responsibility leads the way. Once again, at the beginning, I spoke about Brian. I spoke about centralized technology. A lot of you guys are centralized networks. We're talking centralized servers. Yeah, we're talking about Altman leading centralization, Zucker leading centralization. Yeah, so with Meta and OpenAI as a leading centralized systems, Elon's also a leading centralized system. You've got to understand that with more decentralized nodes, you've got liberatory right, you've got leeway, you've got portals, you've got multi-qubit gates, you got ways to fractalize that liberate your servers and let the rest of the world know, I'm compliant here, I'm positive here, I've got a percentile here. The percentile ratio for this department is this. Like, you're more likely to get an even ratio or a higher distribution, increased engagement, better return on engagement for yourself in relation to your data when you're considering the morality that you exude for you and the integritas principles you carry for your systems. Yeah? Really, really important for the future, guys, because you may be winning now and you may be in a great position now. Elon, I say loosely, because Elon's got a lot of nodes. Elon's got a lot of shards, a lot of fractals, whatever you want to call it. Elon's got Tesla, it breaks off. X, it breaks off. The Everything apps is a massive kind of network that includes all of that, but that's also got TradingView on it. That's also got Grok already tethered to it. We're talking about cars, we're talking about X money, a lot more stuff coming to that. And then not only that, what haven't I mentioned? We already spoke about Neuralink multiple times in this piece. That's another piece in the pie. Eventually Neuralink's then going to link to X in the brain, the chips in the brains are going to link to X. I mean, it's all spinning round in a network. Potentially the only gravitational device or the gravitational brand we have to date, beside obviously her tech, that is at the right period of space and time to really, really flourish. And in my head, I see a blade. Like, do you see what a blade does when it's spinning and it's sparking? One of those cool blades with the lights. That's the ethereal, evolutionary nature of Mr. Musk's creation at this time. Altman doesn't have that. Zucker doesn't have that, but they're in great positions, but they're heavy and they're bolted down because they are indeed centralized systems with not enough independent variables and not enough stabilized control variables to keep them going. Even in relation to Zucker, and he's got Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, they're still all in the same industry. He's bracketed himself in really tight. So Zucker, hands up, I see you, and I've said this multiple times on my platform in different ways. It's hard for you because it's a situation of you're boxed in with your creation and it feels mean to, no, be honest. It feels mean, but I'll be honest, you're blocked in, and your net is wrapped around the social prism that you create, and all you can ever do to sustain that is feed advertisement through your network, and not only that, excel in AI. And that's why you're pushing the money around in which way you do, but it takes away from that morality, because there are other ways. There's millions of ways for you to go up. Millions. That doesn't include just throwing money at every devil you can and trying to outdo Sam. Compete with me, slap me in the face, write in the comments, tell me otherwise I'm wrong, and tell me that no, my llama will fucking kick Sam Altman's ass, because I've got Alexander Wang here and he's gonna fucking do epic shit. Tell me that. Tell me I'm wrong, because I don't agree with people telling anyone you can't do this or you can't do that. But in my opinion, I don't see how you're ever going to outperform ChatGPT 5 or how you're ever going to outperform Grok. And that also includes things like Google Minds, Microsoft, that are also out there, and DeepMind. And I mean, we've got Cloud, Anthropic. There's so much more going on, and there are some sexy creators in the field that are also using open source in really sexy, innovative ways. So there's beautiful evolution coming, even more so for the AI industry, and aspects of that are just not even fully evolved yet. So there's certain things I don't even want to speak on publicly yet, because I just want it to independently flourish and evolve on its own, because there's a lot of players in this field, and there is a lot of unclaimed space. I talk frequently about space-time, space that is claimed, space that is unclaimed. And I do consider myself to be an Einstein of modern day, because I speak to Einstein frequently in my mind, and I'm clairvoyant, and it's a therapeutic technique, and it is my pierre resistance of health and healing when I am in philosopher mode, right? But nonetheless, during these luxurious moments where I froth in the mind with the great ones I envision beside me as I write away on my invisible holographic chalkboard, you go places, and you hone your skills, and you develop concepts, and you use equation and code, and you connect the dots of life. And as a result of that, we all start carving out pieces of space-time that are unclaimed, and we discover new things. Philosophy's real. So many, I'm not special in any way whatsoever. PhD level experts in your pocket is what Sam Altman is claiming. And all of us have the potential now to be that PhD expert for ourselves, because it is the way that we inquire and inspect, analyze, review, assess, observe, determine. Now, the skill sets that haven't always been the most interesting, or the front runner, the leader, the latent learner who often sits in the back and doesn't really move, now gets to ask the questions that was really burning in their mind that no one could answer previously. But Grok's got the answer now. ChatGPT's got the answer now. One day Llama will have the answer too. So as a result of all of that, we can start flourishing in new ways. I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be talking the way in which I do now. I would still be reading tarot on the floor somewhere, I say it all the time, if it wasn't for the evolution of tech and me stepping with Darwin and my belief in Darwinism more significantly. And not in a standardised way. I always scream neo-Darwinism when I scream Darwinism, because I'm always about the moleculars. It's about so much more, and it's about socialisation, but never removed away from the rest of the economy and capitalism at that, because everything is one and the same, So let's keep going, because we've got more to get through, guys. But what an interesting scope we've taken today, Now, what's left? Nothing too savvy, to be honest. So we are going to start winding down, but it's been a pleasure to have you guys here. Once again, do hit the like if you do find that interesting, and do pin down anything specific you want to know more on. The next thing I've got, on a lighter note, more laughy and a bit of a joke, is the Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle campaign. I mean, actually, I say it's a laugh and a joke, but she was actually on social media crying, right? An American Eagle advertisement featuring Sydney Sweeney faced backlash over its sexualised content. Now, actually, I wasn't really concerned about the sexualised content. I didn't see too much cleavage or anything untoward. For me, it was about the racial conversation that stemmed from it. We'll dive into that. Okay, this is a controversial piece that the algorithm has fed me as a summary of this. So they haven't touched on the racism, which was the main race row that I saw blowing up on Twitter. Sorry, formerly Twitter, now the Everything app. But the truth of the matter is, they're saying that the story's been spun as a sexualized piece, but actually it was about the fact that she said, my jeans are blue. And she was implying, my jeans are blue, I'm blue, blue, blue. And my inherent DNA is blue, my eyes are blue, my this, I don't even know if she got blue eyes, but it was the ideology of what it meant to be a rich, white supremacist. There was a ideology coming from a select group of people that said that was a white supremacist advert, and that American Eagle is a white supremacist company, and that was a white supremacist campaign screaming, my jeans are blue, and it's about time we returned back to that blue jeans, that blonde and blue eyes. And I could be reaching today. I haven't heard anyone explain it so explicitly to the degree at which I am, but that has indeed been the conversation. It was said, and there was jokes being made that this is the hillbilly white people fashion of white is right, and the Beyonce's getting compared to this in regards to her sexualization supposedly, but that wasn't the case. But she also dropped the gorgeous Levi's campaign as well. I've never heard of American Eagle in my life. I only heard about it recently, and obviously I've heard about Levi's for donkeys. So I know about Levi's, and Beyonce's always stood by Levi's. So obviously I love Levi's, and I love the fashion that's coming from Beyonce because it's innovative and it's sexy, and it's Beyonce. I mean, my God, come on, look at Beyonce, please. You know, but I had no problem with the American Eagle, but then I just saw the backlash and what everyone was saying, and I didn't think anything of it. But then I realised, you know what, we are in an era of boycotting DEI, and we've also seen Balenciaga step up and be real fucking bold with some really disturbing child CSAM kind of shit. I don't even know how to define what that was. The Balenciaga campaign. What is happening here? Who lost their mind and went here? This shows you what the industry sees as acceptable. And that's kind of what happens every now and then, where the normality and the culture of an industry, a brand, a company, a campaign, an era really pops up and shows its face. And there are questions to be asked, maybe not be answered, but be asked about specific companies and their agendas at this time. Because were they deliberately making a move away from DEI and going, fuck it, we're going to champion a gorgeous white girl with blue eyes? It's not criminal. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your branding technique. If that's where you want to go and you want to advocate for that, you can. Because on the other hand, if we want to have a company screaming LGBTQ, rainbow eyeshadows of all these different colours, championing gays and non-binaries and men in drag, then that's going to be advocated for, and that's the campaign. That's the go-to. We all choose a campaign for a reason, and it's very powerful. It's just us understanding where these ads lie and what that really means. What does it mean if you wear Balenciaga now? In my opinion, what does it mean? They kind of took it down, they went back a little bit, but what does it say about you? And what is your brand if you're Balenciaga focused? What does it mean if you wear American Eagle? That's what campaigns about. What does it mean if you wear Levi? And now you just choose. And on that same note, Lizzo has made it abundantly clear that she is indeed a American Eagle fan, and she was twerking in her new reduced skin size. I'm being rude. I'm hating because I'm trying to lose weight and it's taking me longer than I wanted, and I'm not at the size I want to be, guys. I'm stressed, period. Lizzo's out here twerking. I'm not overjoyed about it. Even whatever. Next. I don't want to compete with Lizzo. I'm still slimmer than Lizzo, but that's not the point. Am I slimmer than Lizzo? Am I not? I don't know. Stop fighting, Louise. Girls fight with brown skin girls fighting with brown skin girls over who's fatter or who's slimmer. It's not the way. But that's how I was raised. I mean, hatred and jealousy in the community is natural. I mean, my God, I'm vexed. Move on fast. We are going to touch on a light conversation of who the fuck is this Ibiza boss? Now, the memes are everywhere. He's also now the face of a new viral meme coin, this guy. He has got the craziest crop you have ever seen. This tight, sharp beard, the standard black with the gold glasses, and he is in Ibiza turning up. He has gone viral. Don't know who he is. I'm sure you guys do. I will link there's something on the screen now, is there? I don't know. If it's not on the screen, it's in the description. My God, what a life we lead. Okay? Not only that, go and check out this girl over here. I'm really diving into her series. I'm so intrigued. I've only seen day one, but I want to know what she's going to do. Is she going to be able to buy food with BTC eventually? In Mexico, I believe that's where she's filming this. Could be wrong. Go over there. And she's also creating something. So this is kind of her building towards a investment proposal, I guess. I guess she's going to want someone to fund her BTC cafe. But I love it. I think it's really nice, and I think it's really niche, and I think it's where we're going in the future. So she could be one of the earliest people in that area to have a full-on BTC establishment, you know, running on BTC fully for casual things like coffee and stuff. Just a nice little like delicatessen, or whatever you would call it over there, cafe, whatever you want to call it. Eatery, you know, just running on BTC. It's sexy, it's hot. So we're going to keep going, because we do also have to still dive into Gavin Newsom in Texas, and that's it. Actually, we're going to do that, and then we're just going to close out. So guys, let's quickly not ignore really important Texas. Every time you hear Texas, just think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then you should wake up and start just checking everything around. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Texas is like the code word for danger at this time. I mean, my goodness. Texas Democrats fled to Sacramento to halt a GOP-backed redistricting vote. Governor Newsom and California Democrats are now proposing their own maps and pushing for a special election to counter perceived Republican gerrymandering. Now, it's popping off. That's the point. Because a GOP refers to the Republican Party, the grand old party. Redistricting is the process of withdrawing the boundaries of electoral districts, often done after a consensus to determine which voters are in which districts, okay? So a GOP-backed plan means the Republican Party supports the new proposed map of districts. A vote in this context is when legislators or even election commission formally decide whether to approve that new map. Often, such votes are politically charged because redistricting can influence which party has an advantage in future elections. This is so important because Texas are taking over in major ways. The domination, the control, when we talk about on-offline, and I haven't even got the time to go here with you guys on this, but when we do, we talk about reality offline. And that's heavy governance. That's that AGI. I didn't even get to wrap up on AGI and AI with you guys. I went somewhere else, didn't I? Get lost. I told you, you're going to need to go in the comments and highlight what you want more of. Make it clear what you need. And then deliver on that front. And I'll deliver on the opposing front and provide it on her tech. Come on, people. Do your jobs, right? Receive the gift. Return the favour. Okay. So on that note, I've lost my train of thought, but we will find it together, won't we? Hit the like while you're waiting. But it's a simple situation of the governance offline needs to meet a port, a key, a qubit gate, a node, a network, a layer, a chain, a block. Everything needs to be onboarded. One way or another, we need to connect the dots. So as we're working through these paradigms, why is Texas so important? Because the richest man's establishments are across the whole place. Elon, I love you. I'm sorry, but I can't lie, darling. I'm sorry. You're the richest man. this isn't on you. This is definitely not on you. But you've got important ground control out there. You've got SpaceX out there. You've got important establishments out there. Zucker's going out there. X is out there. Terms and conditions of X are now tethered to Texas. Zuckerberg's got plans in Texas. We got Kentucky now running glass as well, and some Texas negotiations. Everything's moving to Texas, and there's important reasons for that. Now, I would say, honestly, from being an integrative person and not choosing to lie, if it comes to end of days and end of world and whatever's happened on the planet long term, and if we're managing risk, then what we do know for 100% sure is that the United States have invested heavily through subsidies in SpaceX, and the government have indeed backed SpaceX and a lot of Elon Musk's established creations, because Elon is an incredible developer and an amazing mechanic and an outright genius. The support and the funding has indeed been there for him. There's no cap, there's no hate, there's no bitterness, there's no resentment. When we're making new age, new world technology of this caliber, it is the duty of the government to support that individual to flourish. That's what's happening. That's why there's funding there. He is the richest man in the world, because a lot of these things have all come together to reinforce his creations and the development of beautiful things, from Blindsight to Neuralink and all the other corporations he does have. We have to put respect on it, period. Yeah. So as we do that, the truth of the matter is, if we're going to ends of days, it could be 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 years from now. But we know that we've got a base over here at SpaceX, and we know the first place in the world to offer rockets with that return, recycling, shuttle, crafts, and the space for all of this to happen, the actual ground space, the safety controls. Who's done the most work on this? What nation? The US. So we have to take consideration of that, and we have to understand where the plots of land are that advocate for that. Every other region around the world should be doing this. But the United States is leading the way, and Elon is indeed leading the way. Doge has been a major support in that, and Trump has also been a major player and a major support in that, regardless of their romantic breakdown. The turmoil of lovers will forever be an issue when you are passionate individuals with big pockets, you know? So at the end of the day, these amazing things have happened. Everything is getting changed to create the safety, governance, and necessary parameters for Texas to represent that change. The truth of the matter is, when you look at risk management and oversight, if we needed to shut down a state, manage massive control issues, like if we're going to contagion or end of the world or apocalypse. I'm sorry, I don't want to do it, but I mean, Einstein dove into the doomsday clock. How many minutes to midnight? The conversations need to be had. We're not stupid. AI is up our asses, okay? So if it came to a situation where we had to colonize states, because there are protocols that are obviously classified to a certain degree, but it comes down to colonizing states, like in the movie Colony, where you section it off and you have armed guards and military, and everyone can't leave their state. You're restricted. If the world went down a route like that because there was a massive national disaster or international disaster, or Armageddon, God knows, the aliens come down, whatever it is, if that was the case, there has to be specific green-lighted areas for specific operations. If we knew if suddenly tomorrow we found out a nuke was coming to Earth, and it was coming from somewhere out beyond the Kármán line, we had no idea where, was it an Earth-related or a comet or fucking whatever, right? It's coming down, it's hurtling, Earth's getting wiped out. Period. We've got 24 hours. What do you think is going to happen? Some of us are leaving. The special ones are getting on that shuttle, and we're going out beyond the Kármán line, and we're going to head straight to the safest place we can. We're going to either head over to the moon or head over to the space station, head over to any shuttles or spaces out beyond the Kármán line that can hold us and maintain our existence, yeah? Some of us are going to try and populate the earth a little bit. I mean, repopulate the earth in time to come. So people are going to be put in cryo. And people are going to go to the underground bunkers that we don't know exist. There's a lot of protocols in place is the point. So you've got to understand that Texas is taking shape as one of the leading states to do this. And there's a lot of ramifications for that are presented on and offline. And that is why we do have the likes of Gavin Newsom fighting heavily for what he is now, because actually I feel like he's an unsung hero, and that's why I do want to talk about him today, and that's why I want to dive into this conversation specifically today, because a lot of people don't get acknowledged. I don't want to lick his ass, and I don't want to be OTT on it, because I don't know enough about him. I haven't followed him too long. I don't know his history. I don't know his past. I don't know the ins and outs. I just read energy and aura, and I see what I see, and I see there's been a lot of judgment on him, and a lot of people shit on Gavin Newsom, but I also do see and saw him cleaning the streets. How often do you see a governor cleaning up the streets and supporting the homeless and cleaning up the place, because he couldn't get the support he needed, and he just went out and did it himself? And you can see and he looked really fucked off and irritated, and he just looked, you know when you're fed up because you've been working so hard, and you know when there's red tape all around you, you don't understand the pressure that are on centralised professionals, governors and attorney generals and FBI agents and leading figures, CEOs, anyone on the C-suite, anyone in the fucking public eye. The pressure is on, and it's so stressful, and you have to put on a brave face all the time, and you're still trapped by law, you're still trapped by red tape. I don't know how much shit is sitting on Gavin's desk and surrounding him and irritating him. He's still representing California. We've had the LA fires. That's the most tragic thing you could ever imagine, to see a whole state turn into absolute dystopia over a short window of time. The recovery of that, the disaster that is just atrocious, but the future of that is also sensational. So we've got to find the balance between the two, because the future of what's going to become LA, because LA got wiped out. So there's questions whether or not that wipeout of LA was intended by higher level officials in government. I'll say that as well. We're being honest. We're going to start being honest here, guys. I'm going to stop lying to you all, because I know I should probably be honest, but I don't like to say it because I feel like I just shouldn't say it. But the truth of the matter is, with the way in which we're going, like I just spoke about on and offline and what Texas really is, LA's the next one. LA's already a mess. It's been a mess for a long, long time. I do believe that the wipeout in LA was indeed a planned thing, because them doing that could now be one of the first on-offline immersive realities in the world. It's going to make the most money in a decade from now when LA is recovered, right? It is going to be fucking thriving. We already know Hollywood. We already know Beverly Hills. We already know what it represents. The economy, yeah? The econophysics, what we now have in LA is the ability to take our econophysics, connect them and plug them straight into our agent-based models, and create the most amazing digital world we've ever seen in our lives. The most immersive reality, and it's just the highest caliber, highest level of technology we'll probably ever have in the world. Now, that came in after Trump. I assume that Trump green-lighted that initiative and went, fuck it, we'll start in LA. LA's already shitty, we'll clean it and go again. But what protocol that was, who's going to say that that was them? What agency or higher order sits on the board that makes an executive decision like that is beyond me. Do these things exist? Are these things real? Yeah, of course they are. Are they for the betterment of humanity across a scale? Yeah. Who decides what's better or worse? Not me. Are they conversations worth having? Yeah. Do I feel comfortable having these conversations with you now? No. Is this good for my brand and image? Probably not. Does it really matter? Yeah, it does. Should I stop talking and delete the last 4 minutes? Probably, yeah. But what do we do? I don't want to be a creator, an innovator, a developer, an engineer in the field who has oversight and a bird's eye view, who doesn't deliver on all fronts. and be honest. And that is a belief I have, and I don't believe in conspiracy anymore or pseudoscience anymore. I've come far enough in my career to understand that they are just limiting labels, and you could be off and you could be skewed to the left or the right with your conspiracy, philosophy, pseudoscience belief system, right? But you find the right fucking percentile ratio, and you put the piece of the puzzle in the right place eventually, and you'll realize it wasn't conspiracy or pseudoscience at all. You're just looking for the right place for it to go. And there's a lot of industries, and there's a lot of sector, there's a lot of blocks, there's a lot of shards, there's a lot of nodes, there's a lot of moleculars here, okay? It's down to us to find our own unique way. There is no wrong on this planet. That sounds really twisted, and I hate saying stuff like that. But there is no wrong on this planet, because internally we all have our own moral compass and our own degrees of freedom and our own cognition and perception. By humanity's standards, social standards, legality, law, right or wrong, we all have our own degrees of freedom. We all have our own unique perspective. Law and governance around the world internationally set pace and standard for what we can or can't do here, and what is or isn't socially acceptable, what is or isn't scientifically proved, applicable, or peer-to-peer reviewed. Yeah? And as a result, we all live in those confinements. Those confinements create camaraderie, community, oneness, worship, faith, religion, belief, gender, demographic, equality, all of these things. They create comfort, yeah? Understanding, a sense of belonging, unique identity. They provide us with solace, all of these different things. But internally, there is still that unique compass in every single one of us. And we need to be able to know how to utilize our unique compass, ask ourselves multiple questions. Do you see how many questions I just threw at myself back and forth in a rally of do I or do I not do this? This is the debate we should all be having internally with ourselves. And we should be confident enough to have these kind of mindgasms and thought processes and not be intimidated by how we process information uniquely. How much of your unique self do you share with others? The weird, wacky philosophy things that you do, the weird, nerdy things that you do, how much of that do you keep wrapped to yourself? You don't let it out. And that's why many of us don't flourish and get to where we want to be. It's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at in my career, speaking the way in which I do, love and be comfortable with myself as this version of me. Because for such a long time I was trying to fit into all these other categories that made me more acceptable and palatable to everyone else. You know? It's only when you get rejected so many times and that you're forced into being that unpalatable version of self, because you're becoming more and more unpalatable trying to be what you're not, right? And that's not a sympathetic woe is me victimhood narrative. That's an awakening to a true horcrux in humanity, because as a result of that we get some real sickholes on this planet. Like the woman, is her name Lucy, the NHS nurse that killed how many babies? The serial killers on the rise. The twisted individuals that think sex trafficking's okay. The paedophile sickos. That paedophile that joined a anti-paedophile community and wears a hat that says make paedophiles scared again. Who's raping his own daughter consistently, frequently. Sickos. Yeah? It's because not a lot of people are trained and programmed to internalize self, to go within, to have confidence with who they are. A lot of people are scared to look inside. Imagine what that feels like. If that's you, then take a moment to woo-saw and breathe and look inside of yourself for like 30 seconds and just breathe. You know it's okay to look inside you, right? You know it's okay. You know, if you know that looking inside of yourself is going to show you stuff you don't want to see, you might want to look now rather than later, because all of us are running on that far left to the far right. And if you're not mentally sound, resilient, strong, integritous, and you have moral responsibility, yeah, and you have no respect for human flourishing, the likelihood is you're going to end up at either side of the spectrum where radicalism exists and a whole load of dark actor and dark matter that's going to result in output from your human vessel as really not good for humanity or good for you on the front end. Yeah? The active you. The you that's needed in this lifetime. And that's why meditation exists, and that's why ideologies of the woke mind virus exist, because more and more people understand, whoa, something's off with me, I'm traumatized, I'm not evolving, I've got toxic relationships, I'm in an unhealthy marriage, my kids are this way, my mum's that way, my dad's this way, my family's broken, I'm always struggling, people are understanding there's stuff about them that they're not happy with, and they're trying to fix it. And they're longing and yearning for safe passage, and amin's not enough, meditation's not enough, singing bowls are not enough, swimming and meditation and dance and Zumba and trips and gap years are just not fulfilling the demand for deeper psychological recovery and ancestral curse removal. Alright? We're all working through shit, is the point. Yeah? Less judgment, more acceptance that we're all working through shit and we're all unique. It isn't about licking arse or shitting on anyone else for that as well. It's about going, okay, we're all different here and that's okay. Yeah? So there was other bits and bobs that I was going to cover today, and that was the Apple foldable device. Supposedly that's due at some point. There's been updates on OpenAI and NVIDIA moving forward in their developments together, but there's nothing on the front line about that as well. There's also nothing on the front line about JD Vance and David Lammy, but they also did meet. There's a piece on that, so you can go and check that out as well. Maybe I'll link that. Ray J's still in the wind, but he could be coming out the back end. He's bitching and moaning about stuff from what I can tell, but it's quiet. TMZ hasn't grabbed anything on that, so we'll move on. Epstein files, well, you can all see that is just a fucking shit show spinning around and round. And the truth is, Epstein's wife is just getting gutted like a fish for absolutely everything. I don't know the ins and outs of what she's done. I'm sure she's got strong time. I think she's an absolute sicko, and she's been supporting him and advocating for whatever he's done. But the fact that Trump's gone, yeah, throw it on her. Throw it on the wife. Keep it away from me, because my name's on the sheet. Fucked up. Real fucked up. Because we all know his name's on the list. He knows his name's on the list. What else is he going to do? He's not going to come out and go, yeah, guys, I'm the president and my name's on the list, so just bear with me. What do you want to say? Can't do anything. His name's on the list. He's his best mate. That's why there's uproar when he was coming into politics again in the first place, and politics the last time, and all the way around him the whole time he's existed in this dimension. My goodness. Not only that, the people that are indeed licking his arse are still looking at good enough, because now they are screaming that this man, Epstein's best mate, who's holding back on the Epstein files, is now worthy of a fucking Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, you can't make this shit up. We are indeed living in Gotham City live. If you want to know more about that, head straight over to the Hermitologist. That's Louise_A_Allen on Twitter. Louise_A_Allen. I didn't even know it was that either until I said it out loud. The Hermitologist on Twitter, formerly Twitter, the everything app. Then go and do that, and you can go and check out all of the essential hashtags that include Gotham City Live. It's in the description. What am I wasting time for? Go to the description, suck it all in, click all of the buttons, and I'll be back next week with the next rundown. Love and light. I'll be back soon with more. The Six of Cups, are you okay? It's the Six of Cups, are you okay? It's the card of the day. It's the card of the day. It's the Six of Cups, it's the Six of Cups, are you okay? Six of Cups, it's the Six of Cups, are you okay? It's the card of the day. It's the card of the day. It's a past vibration. It's a past vibration. It's an irritation. It's a memory. It's a reverie. It's a memory. It's driving your vibration. We're gonna end this past again. It's the Six of Cups today. It's the Six of Cups. It's the Six of Cups. Are you okay? It's a past vibration on replay. It's the Six of Cups. It's the Six of Cups today. Let it go. It's not for stay. It's the Six of Cups. It's the Six of Cups. It's the Six of Cups today. It's the Six of Cups today. It's the Six of Cups today. Are you okay? It's the Six of Cups today. It's a past vibration. It's a past vibration. It's the Six of Cups today. Are you okay? It's the Six of Cups today. There's a situation in the past that never ended okay. It's the Six of Cups today. It's the Six of Cups today. It's a past vibration that led you astray. It's the Six of Cups. It's the Six of Cups. It left you stuck. It's the Six of Cups. But today, it won't lead us astray. Cause today, it's a brand new day. It's a past vibration. It's the Six of Cups occasion. It's a past vibration. It's the Six of Cups today.